Welcome to Sport Matters, a podcast sports show, where we center our focus around football, basketball, and boxing.
Yeah.
So, guys, get ready, as always, for an exciting show.
Definitely, on Sport Matters, we trust us to give you guys a bit of, all of the actions, top topics, juicy topics across football, basketball, and, we've got boxing, and, it's definitely going to be an unbiased opinion about all of these things, so stick around and join us on this journey.
All right, guys, so we need to know what's the menu and where we started from.
Yeah, the first one is football, of course, and we have decided to, start off with the Seleção, the Brazilian national team. There's been a lot of talk, about the players not being, not embracing the culture, the Jugo Bonito, the stylistic, brand of football. They have said that these current Brazilian players play more of an European-based football. I mean, what do you make of that?
That's rightfully so, but it's a little bit harsh because for me personally, football has gone beyond the Jogo Bonito, the heavy tiki-taka thing,
the rainbow fleet, and all of that.
See, Pep Guardiola is the master of tiki-taka for me, in the last.
And that was a brand of football that was
you
really
look at
good.
Manchester City, they pass the ball, but they don't play that heavy tiki-taka that we used to see those years. So same can be said about what's it called, the Brazilian Jogo Bonito, because guys, football has changed. I mean, now everyone wants to be direct. Everyone wants to attack.
run.
They want to run behind.
Over the top.
Look at Spain that just won the Euros. How do they play? Was it before we know Spain as a tiki-taka,
Pass the ball,
now,
take the ball,
these
pass
guys
the ball.
can press, they can counter press,
Yeah.
they can run, they can defend,
Defend.
they can play over the top ball.
Very
Come
compact.
on.
But yes, when we speak about nations, of course, like national teams, there's one thing that stands out, is the culture.
Right.
And the culture is, they don't need to speak about it before you recognize
What
it.
they represent,
It's just
yes.
what they represent. And for Brazil, they love football. Like, it's one of the top 3 footballing nations, like passionate fans. We definitely mention football. And one of the things that make them really happy as fans, and even the players that put smiles on their faces, of the fans, the spectators, and the players, is what they do with the ball. You see Neymar Junior.
That's true.
He could grab the ball and try to do all of the rainbow flicks and all of that. Many players, Ronaldinho Gaucho,
Yes,
he's
Robinho.
always smiling.
Yeah, Robinho, Delima, Ronaldo,
Nazario.
I mean, you haven't mentioned these guys.
Yeah.
Now look at the new generation since Vini Junior.
I mean, no disrespect.
No disrespect.
Just different type of
but
players.
Vini Junior, yes, Vini Junior is, to me, it looks like an European-based player.
Of course.
He's Brazilian.
More pacey.
I mean, perfect. He can run. He can. You barely see Vini Junior attempt, the rainbow flick.
He actually attempted that, in the Copa America.
Did he get it right?
I think it wasn't perfect,
Okay.
but somehow it worked.
It worked.
It worked.
Yes, so Brazil,
Yeah.
you look at the starting lineup.
Yeah.
How many European players are there? I mean, players that are playing their trade in the European league.
Yeah, it's like almost 90%. And how many players, like home-based players on the team? I think it's just the goalkeeper, and he's not even starting.
It's not even in
Bento.
Bento has just gone to
Saudi Arabia.
So everyone is moving.
yeah.
Why are they moving?
Because of the money. See, look, the first thing that comes to mind about all of these things, and when people talk about, the culture, the players not embracing the culture anymore, I think one factor that we should center this around is the fact that, these players from age 7 to 16, they're already on their way to Europe.
They're moving.
So do you think
their entourage, agents, parents, they're moving them big?
So do you think these players need to spend more time, in the Brazilian league?
Now, we look at the positives and the negatives. On
The positives is
money
money.
is the financial. Yes, they need
finances,
to make money.
Of course.
Now, the positive brings the negative. The negative brings the positive. If they remain in the Brazilian league, now all those rainbow flick, step overs, you see it in the Brazilian league.
Definitely.
But, hey, guy, you can't see it in. Look at Anthony. Anthony, when he was in Brazilian league, he could spin
With
all through the
Santos,
game.
yeah.
But now, when he came to Man United, he tried a few times, and
they put him
you
off.
don't do that
Nobody
here,
cares.
because now players. Defenders will smash your feet.
And the thing about football is that now it's more about you score goals.
Yes,
you score
that's
goals.
the result.
But yes, the financial aspect of the
Very
game has
important.
actually influenced
Very
this,
important,
of course, but it's very important that Brazilian, maintain the culture and try to stick around. I mean, we would like to do more football, but we have to take the next flight. And
where's the next flight taking us to?
definitely to the basketball, NBA. Trust me. It's that time of the year, that time of the month, and the time of the season where we have, contract extension. Is it max extension? Is it free agent signing? Is it trade? Is it, coach switching from one franchise to another? But hey, let's ditch that now and let's head straight to the USAB, the United States of America basketball. Gearing up for the Olympic in Paris. When is it starting?
July 26, and it's important to note that the United States of America always win gold.
They always win. They've medaled in 19 Olympic in the basketball courts, obviously, and they won 16 gold medals, 2 bronzes and 1 silver.
Interesting that, but I'm looking forward to, the Greek freak, Greece
Wow.
and Antetokounmpo. Do you think this guy, the Greek freak, can lead that charge?
Giannis, Antetokounmpo is actually a proper basketball player, but he's the only one. He's not the only one playing for
What's
Greece.
his fitness saying?
No, his fitness is good. He had the exhibition game.
Okay.
He did really well,
Alright.
yes. So he did really well on the court and all of that. But there's also Luka Doncic of Slovenia. There's
For you, quickly, what's
Joker,
your percentage for United States of America? I've mentioned these guys, in different countries. For United States, do you think it's like the 100% they used to have before, or now it dropped a bit because of the Greek freak, Giannis, Doncic and the like?
Trust me, we would have thought, okay, maybe 90% because obviously the second FIDA's team didn't do well in the FIBA, World Cup that was won by Canada.
Yes.
But the roster was, announced, and there's Steph Curry, there's LeBron James, Kevin Durant,
Who stopped that?
Joel Embiid, Anthony Davis,
Man.
Anthony Edwards,
Tyrese. Who stopped that? If that was a franchise, if that was a franchise, that have players like that,
they'll definitely do
they'll win for the next
Fact.
50 years.
So I think for this USA basketball team, I think the only guys that can stop them is themselves. Because trust me, they have had 2 exhibitions so far. They defeated Canada, one of their noisy neighbors, of course. They defeated George Giddy, Australia, and all of that. But it looks like their roster, their 5-man, is going to consist of who? LeBron James, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Anthony Edwards. Come on now.
All-star. Who stopped that? That's my question. That's my question to you.
And maybe our viewers can help us because as it is like this, we don't even know.
I'll be surprised when I wake up one morning and then I see, Olympics,
maybe they knock them out.
United States didn't get the gold.
So I will be surprised. That will be your biggest surprise.
That will be my biggest surprise.
Now let me tell you my biggest surprise. My biggest surprise is going to be if the USA basketball team doesn't, sweep off every of their opponents.
Wait, how many points? At least how many?
25 and above.
That's ridiculous. I believe they will do. I believe they will.
But I'm looking at Serbia with Joker, Nikola Joker.
He's going to try and push them.
Trust me, he's going to do it. There's also another, his namesake, who plays for Chicago Bulls, is also really good. And I think they're going to do well.
So
for
for me, I would say the competition is fierce now, but no one is stopping.
At least for now,
no one is stopping.
And
that's United States.
Let me just add to what you're saying. No one's. There's LeBron James that this is definitely his final Olympic.
Yeah, and he wants to win gold.
There is Kevin Durant. This is obviously
he wants to win gold.
Steph Curry hasn't been in this USA basketball team in the Olympic for as many as I think 8 years.
He's as hungry as ever.
Joel Embiid did not have a good season. He definitely want to win.
And when it comes to Olympic guys, we know the nations that takes gold medals seriously. United States, China,
of course.
Whatever they do, these guys want to get gold. So don't be surprised when you watch the basketball team and you see the likes of LeBron acting like a 19-year-old, hungry player, dedicated. Don't be surprised because
we saw their exhibition games, and trust me,
they're putting in the hall.
LeBron James is getting to the court faster than anybody.
They're putting.
And you know the good thing, I saw something that was really good. Do you know Anthony Edwards is taking everything in?
He has to.
He goes to the courts at the same time with LeBron James.
You were telling me, the other day that you kind of liken, Anthony Edwards to LeBron.
Yeah, that's you.
Now there's LeBron in front of you, right? What do you have to do? Just watch everything. Whatever nutrition is getting, whatever fitness is doing, exercise, whatever food is eating. My guy, Edwards, just get everything and start noting them down. Because LeBron is the perfect example for these guys. Perfect example. That's just the word to describe LeBron James. He is the perfect example for any youngster. But if you have the opportunity to be with him in the court, in the roster, you need to grab every bit of it. And Anthony Edwards is that's what's up, guys. United States of America NBA. They're gearing up for the Olympic and it's pretty much going to be interesting, but we're not going to stop here because what sport matters without football, basketball, and then the important one, boxing. Now, where are we? Yes. Football, basketball. So we head to boxing. And where are we going? Deontay Wilder. For Deontay, permit me to say personally, I don't fancy him. I think he had an okay boxing career in the
and a short one at that.
And a short one. Yeah. So for Deontay Wilder, yes, he's a knockout artist. Amazing right punch, right hand. But to me, he's not elite in his boxing because I've seen good boxers.
Definitely. I mean, he's an elite specialist, elite puncher.
With the knockout.
Box, specialist in the knockout. But I feel like if his career is going to end now, that's one thing we're going to remember him for.
Yes.
We're not going to remember him for maybe his boxing, abilities, because he doesn't really box.
And I'm looking at, just take a look at the fighters he had to fight over the years.
Yeah.
There are guys that they could close one hand and he will use only one hand to beat these guys. But when he had to fight the big guns, Tyson Fury, he flopped it.
It was telling.
Joseph Parker.
I think for that Tyson, let's just talk about that a little bit. The first fight, he actually did well. Let's give him his prize for that first fight.
Okay, so he was fighting a Tyson Fury that hasn't fought a big name.
Yeah.
Was just recovering from his whole downsides,
all of the things that happened
everything.
to him, I agree.
So it's okay for Tyson Fury to a little bit mess it up, and then this guy took advantage, which was okay. It was only the right punch.
But like at that time, nobody was really talking about everything that Tyson Fury. They were, Deontay Wilder was like the biggest name then.
Yeah,
and some people said he actually won the fight. Some people said that Deontay Wilder,
the one that ended in a draw.
Because Tyson Fury suffered a knockdown twice.
Yes, but he
recovered. So some people said, because he sent Tyson Fury to his canvas and all of that. But for Deontay Wilder, he's never been a boxer.
He doesn't know how to box.
Yeah.
Right. I've seen boxers. I mean, I've seen Canelo Alvarez. I've seen Oleg Usyk.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen Tyson Fury. I've seen Anthony Joshua. These guys can box.
So
I've seen Crawford.
Yeah.
Crawford is good too. Yes. So for now, let's discuss this guy. Deontay Wilder. Do you think triggering that trilogy fight with Tyson Fury? Do you think he will regret it for the rest of his? Rest of his boxing career.
No, I don't think he will regret it.
But do you know
why? Because
it's
imperative that he made so much money at that time, and also it was in the contract. So if you lose the fight, or if you're not satisfied with whatever happened in their contract or whatever, you trigger it.
Yes.
So it's a contract thing that you have to actually respect the contract.
Yes, you have to respect the contract. The first fight ended in a draw, and second fight Tyson Fury won. And
so of course, every man.
Deontay had an option.
Yeah.
And prior to Deontay triggering that clause, Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua they already agreed to a fight in Saudi Arabia. Blockbuster. I mean, big money fights. But hey, Deontay Wilder didn't accept and was like, I must fight.
Of course, in boxing, we know that if it's a big fight and you lose the first one or you're not satisfied, you have the right. So, and Deontay Wilder, who had the belt at that time, he had the right to, trigger. So, Deontay Wilder would never accept, never ever.
I agree with you.
So
because the money he made from that trilogy made sense.
Great,
but after that trilogy fight, Deontay Wilder dropped completely.
It's full
the
of us.
surprising thing now for me, Deontay Wilder is, so after the trilogy fight where he lost to Tyson Fury, he came back later on and fought Roberts, and then he knocked Roberts off under 60 seconds, and he was crying. Why?
So
who fights Roberts and cry?
So I think for him it was just play acting. That was
okay.
We see some kind of like movie kind of thing in all of these sports sometimes. Right. He knocked out this guy in 45 seconds and you're crying. So he's trying to act like he's emotional.
At that point he lost his he lost his relevance because. No disrespect to Roberts. Roberts had. But Roberts is not.
So you don't even win a fight of that magnitude in 45 seconds.
Yes.
Of course, I'm not Deontay Wilder and I'm not a boxer, but I will be looking for the next fight in a month.
And it took him time. Fought Joseph Parker. He lost woefully. Wow. He fought this guy, Big Zank of China, and lost woefully again. To you, final question: should he call it quits?
Should he call it a quit for something that you're really passionate about? You grew up, wanting to be a pro in it, and you're not a pro. No matter the age, it depends on your body. So Deontay Wilder, you've lost. We have to give him some, some benefit of doubt for his career and all of that. He's had that too, and I think it's important that we understand that no matter how much you fall, it's the zeal and the willingness to rise up.
Yes.
So for Deontay Wilder, if he still has the zeal, he has the fight, the grit to get it back on the canvas, then why not?
What's the passion again for Deontay Wilder when he obviously cannot fight Usyk, he cannot fight Anthony Joshua, he cannot fight Tyson Fury again, he cannot fight the big guns.
So the thing is, he could actually,
and the small guys keep beating
So
him.
the thing is, we can make the case for Anthony Joshua also. He had 2 fights where everybody turned down on him, and now he's getting his career back. You know, there's always a remontada, like we call it in football, where you come back. So let's see if that will happen.
I mean, let's see if Deontay Wilder will call it quits or will continue. But yeah, guys, this is where
we don't want to go.
We end it. We don't like to go, but this is where we end it on Sport Matters. And I mean, it's always a pleasure, you know, to discuss, you know, sports, you know, football, basketball, and boxing.
And our viewers out there definitely will be surprised why we're donning a cup. Yes, because we're the Durac twins, and you know, this time we had to show up differently. But it's still black, you know, so we're still repping that, you know, black culture.
And it still looks good, right?
So we'll see, you know, I mean, these faces will definitely be on your screen always, every time, all day, any day, you know. And we sign out as always. Love yourself, love your neighbor, and love the game.
Until we come your way again next episode,
stay safe.